Hey, what's going on, everybody? Today is the part 2 series of Rapid Fire. I'm going to get right into it. If you haven't done so already, part 1, I did all of these coins: Bitcoin, VeChain, T-Drop, Stacks, ARB, Link, AGIX, LCX, IMX, and Mira. So today I'm going to start with this one here, Multiverse X, and we'll talk about Bitcoin and the recent price action. Still somewhat the same. We're going to talk about the weekly candle. It will end tomorrow. What does it mean? Also, what is this happening right here? What is that? Is that bullish? Is that bearish? What does that mean for the alts? We'll talk about it. But first, let's get into this coin right here, Multiverse X. Never seen the chart. Looks awful lot like the one I did yesterday. It looks almost identical, really. So, yeah, pretty much. We have a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. And this is probably an A, a B, and now we're either coming down to get C, right? Or we're going to be heading into reaccumulation, rise, crash, retrace, reaccumulation, sideways, basically ranging down in here before the next leg up. If that happens, it's probably some type of flat, A, B, C, some type of running flat. If we break the low, it's just going to be a regular ABC. My thoughts about it, just like all the other coins, I want to wait and see what happens in this specific area. I mean, you have, the top of the range here. You have the bottom of the range here. And you are essentially kind of stuck in the middle. So until we have a clear pattern, a clearer structure, it could be a whole host of things. So my opinion of the matter, I mean, really, when I look at the other coins that I did, some of them need, more correcting. And then others look like, yeah, they probably had enough. My opinion is they need more correcting. I think it needs more consolidation, either more reaccumulation in here, or even come down and finish the wave, because it doesn't look finished. We have this move down, this move up, and this move back down, right? So that's an A, that's a B. What is that? Is that a running flat? It could be, but we need more confirmation, right? If it starts to flag out in here and starts to build a base, then we get a nice wave 1 on the micro count, right? We get a 3-way pullback. We start pumping up. We get cut through these retracement levels. Then it's going to look more like, this was a running flat. If we bounce up and bounce back down, right? Basically, looking at it from the daily chart, I mean, it's even more clear that this is choppy. Like, you could see how it's corrective, right? When we came up here, it was impulsive. We came back down, right? And then you bounce off the bull market support band and you're like, okay, let's continue going. But the reason why, and this was talked about a lot, not with this specific coin, but with THETA and Bitcoin and others that look like this, as we continue to attempt to break this high, we did so correctively, right? So the waves were overlapping each other. So this wave overlapped with this one, right? This wave up here overlapped with this one. So it was very overlappy, right? And it came up and you got a strong rejection. So the reason why that happens is because, like, if you're smart money, whatever, I really do hate that name, smart money, dumb money. I mean, it's true, but, everybody has the same sort of emotions. But the difference is smart money doesn't react to those emotions. What they do is they'll wait. A lot of times, retail, they're in a hurry, right? They're always rushing. They're in a hurry. They fear, like, if I don't sell now, I'm going to miss my chance, right? So, for example, if the price is going up, right, Smart money and dumb money is holding. Smart money and dumb money is both holding. Then the price crashes. Smart money is still holding. Dumb money couldn't take it anymore and sold. So dumb money sold right here, right? Then because smart money knows that if this is a crash, that there's going to be a retracement of that wave, right? So smart money's like, okay, I'm going to hold here. I'm not going to sell. Even though I feel like it's over, I feel like this wave, not the bull run, but this wave is over, I'm going to wait to get out. So I'm going to wait on the retracement. Then what happens? Smart money buys the dip. Then it starts to correct, right? Then the dumb money who sold here gets back in. Then it continues to go higher, right? And that's when the smart money gets out, is on the retracement. Maybe they get out a little bit here, a little bit here, a little bit here, right? Then they get out. Then when you get up here, the dumb money is like, yay, we're going to go again, right? But then bam, we come back down. And this is a B wave. B waves take more money away from people than any other wave. I don't know if that's a proven fact, but I'm pretty sure it should be, right? An A wave is a pullback, right? A lot of people, they panic, but B waves, people get trapped going down or up. So just a little side note there. So we have this correctiveness. So this wave here is still correcting. So basically this wave, and this wave is correcting this entire move. Which, by the way, let's see what the percentage is. I'm sure it's pretty big. 200, almost 200, say almost 240, 250%. So it's a pretty big move, right? So, either you correct big time through price, or you correct through time, or both, right? So let me put this on here. Let me put the... so we almost made it to the 618. So we did have a 50% correction, which is good. We still haven't tagged the 618. It's still possible. But if I'm trading, holding this coin, I'm not gonna buy. I mean, obviously it could bounce up, right? It could totally bounce up. We have, let me take everything off the screen. Right, we have 1, 2, 3, right? So maybe we get 4 and then 5. I mean, that's what I would like to see. I mean, maybe continue going down in 3, get 4, and then 5. Or if this is going to be a 1, 2, 3, then at least get a little bit more extended. Something to, wet my beak with, because it's not, I mean, you have a low and then you have a higher low, but it needs to prove that's the case. Either you need to base out, make a base, right? Or finish this wave and get down here to the 618 and appropriate by the dip. And then you have a clear 1, 2, 3, right? And that's would be more tolerated for my risk level. Maybe not yours, but for me, yes. So in not just this chart, but I mean even this one, I would say the same thing. Myra and other charts that look like that. That one not too much, but I know this Myra. I think that's how you pronounce it. I don't know. And Multiverse X looks pretty similar. So yeah, I would say let's finish up this correction. Another thing, when you look at the overall structure, you don't really have much to go by, right? I mean, you have this crazy wick up here at $400. If it were to get back to that wick, I don't know what the inflation is or anything like that, so it could be different. 650%. One thing is for sure, it does look bullish. It looks like, we have this, this resistance up here, right? So it's all about working through that resistance. You could create some... awkward looking inverse head and shoulders, but I wouldn't put a lot of weight on that. What I would say is it can be as complex as some type of A, B, C, or a flat structure, or it could be simple as we come down here, we tested it as the bull market support band. I like that. We shot up for a wave and we came back down, and now we're back testing this sort of little base down in here. So I'm waiting to see it. Do we hold support? To me, it looks like we're going to get a bounce. I think a bounce should be coming soon. If not, then continuation to the downside, but at least a little bounce before some more downside, unless we hold, of course, in this range that I'm looking at it as reaccumulation. So it's still early, too early to tell. But again, the macro, it looks bullish. I mean, we have this impulse off the bottom. We have this, this correction here, right? So you could just put it like this here. We're both lagging out, maybe. I mean, it could be an A, B, C, D, E, then go. There's a lot of different corrections that can take place. But to simplify it, I think we're going higher. I just want to see this finish, and then we can get going here. Because we do have that impulse. We're challenging the resistance here. I want to see us close above this line eventually and hold this area at like $75 as support. But yeah, that's it for that one. Let's keep going. Now, this one looks a lot different. This looks like it has no correction yet. It looks like it barely has just begun. I mean, look at the difference. This one has several weeks has gone by. I mean, it's been correcting for a while. Let's see, since back in December, it's been correcting for a while. So, it's been correcting even longer than Bitcoin. But when you look at this one, it barely just started its correction. So that's what you got to be careful of. And let's zoom in a little bit. And it looks like you're going to get this star, this indecision, this red sort of doji candle that signals a top. Another thing is, look how far away we are from the bull market support band. Just put it into the middle. We're literally 175% away from the bull market support band. That doesn't mean it can't keep going higher. I don't know what this coin is or anything. But what I do know is this was bullish down in here, right? We had this bullish downward descending channel, right? And as soon as we broke out, let's go, right? But now we're getting close, to the top here, to the top of this. So I would expect a correction. Just looking at the weekly now, when I zoom in, let's see what we got. It looks like we have a 1, 2 for wave 1, and then the third wave we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That would be wave 3. We pull back for wave 4, and now we have that final wave 5. So it looks like it needs a little bit of work here. Now, so far, I mean, looking at the small time frame, here's the top of the range, here's the bottom of the range, right? And we're like right in the middle, so it's not very helpful. But if I do this, let's see, maybe we have a little triangle going on in here. So that looks interesting. Depending how you draw it, I mean, it looks like we already broke below it, but that's the thing. I don't put much emphasis in it, especially, you need to let this correction mature because your lines will eventually adjust. So in the short term, I would say it looks like it needs a bounce. It looks like we have 1, 2, 3, and then we sort of correct down. It looks like it needs a bounce. The question is, can that bounce be sustained to get us out of here? I'm not sure about that. I mean, it could, but the thing is it doesn't look like it's corrected enough. It doesn't look like enough time has gone by. However, looking at the 4-hour chart, we have an A, we come up for B, and now it looks like we're getting that C leg. The question is it some type of running flat here where we're going to base out? I mean, that's another thing too. Rise, crash, retrace, reaccumulation. Now we're going sideways. So if we go sideways for the next several days up to a week, I would think, okay, we're probably likely to break out, right? But if we come up and we bounce, that's the thing. If we start to bounce higher, then it's going to make me think we're going to come down in a 1, 2, 3. So 3, 3, and then 3. So those are sort of the two ideas I have. So we need a little bit more. Do we get that bounce or do we get sideways? That will kind of tell me if this is that. And I would prefer this because it would allow a better correction, and then also we can potentially come down here and back test this area here. Look, here's a great example of a running flat right here. Now the B wave went a little bit higher. This B wave did not. It can, or it doesn't have to, but essentially you have an A, B, and then you come down for C, right? And you kind of go sideways a little bit, rise, crash, retrace, reaccumulation. You build up, a sideways basin here, basically a running flat, then you continue higher. The question is that's what's happening now? It totally could be. So just, that's the thing about these rapid fire videos. I like them. I really like them because it challenges me to, think outside the box, especially because I've never looked at these charts before. I mean, some of them I have, but it requires me to think quickly and to figure out, hey, what do I see, and what do I see right off the bat. Now, the more time I spend with it, the better it will be. But off the top of my head, that's what I have for you here today. I believe that this chart is bullish. Don't get me wrong. So there's two different things. You have the macro and you have the micro. The micro looks like it needs more correcting. The macro looks like we have a 1, 2. Now we're in the middle of 3. Maybe let's come down for 4, and then we get 5. So really, this tells everything right here, because if we get 5, then it's like, okay, now we get an ABC, we continue on. But if this is only 1, 2, 3, and we start to come down and we break this low down here, let me put it right there. If we break that line at 68 cents, then that's going to tell me that this was not an impulse but a correction. And this correction is correcting this down move. So you're going down, 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 down. It can't go down anymore, so it needs a correction. A, B, C. The question is this an ABC, or do we get that 4 and that 5? So if I'm holding this coin, I want to see a 4 and a 5. If we come all the way down here, that's okay, but we need to hold above wave 1. If we do, it would be a diagonal. We would have a good chance at being a diagonal. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. So that would be a diagonal, right? That's why a lot of people take their profits in wave 3s, because they don't know if it's a wave C or a wave 3, right? So a lot of people, smart money, don't want to take the risk of a 5th wave, So, usually what they do is, I would say a good majority of traders only trade one wave. So what they'll do is they'll wait for the first wave to go. So it's all about, that's the thing also about TA. It's all about patience. It's not like you have to know the answer right away. You just wait and wait and wait. And, you know, the king of the jungle, he doesn't just go out and eat whenever he wants. He sits there and waits. She waits for the extraordinary moment in which to strike, right? And in this case, you know, quote unquote smart money, right? They're waiting for this. So for correcting to the downside, we get this big pump, and then boom, they don't react to it. They don't, you know, they don't get all like, oh, I got to get in now. I got to get in now. No, they wait. They wait for the pullback. They look at the bull market support band and then zoom in even further, right? And then they watch this base, just like how we were doing with THETA. And then they buy this. This is where the smart money buys, right in here. They don't, you know, when this wave goes up and you get up here, you know, a lot of retail would buy it. But the problem with that is you don't know how high this is going to go, and you don't know when it's going to pull back. So you wait for it to go. Let it go. Just let it go. The first wave is always just let it go. Let the first wave go. Then wait for the second wave. Then once you see the base forming of the second or a reversal, that's when you start to accumulate. Then you get this monster move to the upside. And that's the wave they trade. Then once it stalls out, I mean, look at this. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's a 6-week swing trade, right? Then they take the profit. Now this week is going to end. It's going to end tomorrow. So look at the candle, and you know, this is why, like, a lot of people don't even care about looking at the 4 hour and the 1 hour. They just look at the weekly, and they go, look at this. We bought down here. Now we're gonna sell, and we're gonna wait. We're gonna wait and see what happens next, right? The best position to be in, if you're not sure, is no position at all. Because there's always going to be opportunities. Don't think you have to hold on, you know, for traders, not for investors, different. If you're trading, don't think you have to hold on, because there's always going to be the next setup, the next buy the dip, the next bull run, right? There's always going to be something there. And it's all about, you know, being the king of the jungle and just waiting. So smart money, they bought down here. Now they're probably selling. They see this red candle. It's going to print like that. Now, of course, it can keep going higher. Yeah, that's totally plausible. But the thing is, are they going to risk that? No. Why? Because they already made a bunch of money. Now, if it comes down, now check this out. If I take my Fibonacci here and I pull this up, and let's say the price, they sell it up here, the price comes all the way back down to a 618, chances are they're going to buy the dip, right? Then what's going to happen, right, is the price will come down just according to the weekly. Then it comes back up. When it comes up, the question is, do they sell or hodl? Well, that determines if we get through the retracement level. Some will sell, right? They'll buy here and they'll get up to the retracement. They'll sell it, right? Others won't even buy this at all. They'll let this come back and then they'll buy the pullback to get this wave, right? So, and then they'll sell it here for the retracement. So you have an A, B, C. Just theoretically speaking on how certain entities think. Now, another reason why they probably took their profits, and this is not so much rapid fire as more as, you know, kind of education. And I think I'm gonna do a separate series about things like this. I'm not sure yet, but look at this. We're 190% away from that bull market support band, just about. So if I bought down in here, I probably sold it, and I'm gonna wait. Yeah, it could keep going, but I don't know that, right? And if it does keep going, then you probably need a fourth to get the fifth. So wait and see how that matures. And then also you have Bitcoin there to determine, is it going to keep going, right? It really depends what Bitcoin's doing. So just some friendly words of advice, taking a step back from the rapid fire and just giving you sort of that perception that they don't want you to know about and that people don't like to talk about. So let's keep going. But yeah, am I bullish? Well, so far we only have 3. I really want to wait for this fourth to continue. So bond, next crypto bond. Now this one's different. Look at this one. See, I would rather be in this one. I've never seen it before. But the reason why is because it hasn't done anything yet, right? It hasn't had a big pump. It hasn't had a massive pump. It's only, I don't know what coin this is. Maybe Pro is the next big thing. Maybe Bond is nothing. But from the chart perspective, Pro looks more bullish. But but in the short term, Bond looks more bullish, right? Because it hasn't yet performed. See, Pro is way up here. Bond is way down here. But look where Bond is relative to the bull market support band. Remember, Pro was 190% away from it. So as an investor, I don't want that. This one is right literally on top of it. It's less than 20% away from it. So that's interesting. That doesn't mean anything though. It can continue to go down. Right? This can totally continue to go down. What I like though is we do have bullish divergence on the weekly chart, and that's why I put the RSI up, because I already almost knew that we did, right? So you have a low and then you come down for a higher low, but the RSI has a low and then you come up for a higher low. So this had a lower low, this had a higher low, and that's bullish divergence. Now that's just one thing, right? That's one little thing that we like to look at. Another is the MACD, specifically the moving averages crossed above each other. We are positive momentum, which is good. What I don't like though, I'll tell you what I like about it and what I don't like about it. I don't like the fact that it's not enough data. A lot of these coins are pretty brand new, and I get it. A lot of these, some of the brand new coins, like if you were to get into Solana when it was first out, I mean, you would have made a killing. Or if you got an XRP when it first came out, or Bitcoin, or anything, right? That's kind of how you want to position yourself. But the thing is, you need to have the fundamental backing to back up that position, right? And there's just so many cryptos out there that are brand new, but you just don't really know which ones are going to be winners and which ones are going to be losers. You have Twitter sentiment, X sentiment, you have YouTube sentiment, you have the chart, and then you have the fundamentals. A lot of these crypto websites, you go on them and they talk about, oh, this is the new blockchain introducing this with this and that, and it does this, and they all sound the same. Like they all sound like they're all compelling, right? They all make compelling arguments of why they're so good. But it's like, how do people know? Like, how does my Uncle Dave know that, right? I mean, I don't even know. So anyway, it's hard to know, and that's why it's all about doing your research. I don't have time for that. I let the chart do my research for me, because look, for example, people do research on coins all the time, and yes, it matters when we have utility regulation, things like that. But we're not in that market. We're in speculative markets. If you have, Baby Doge or Pepe, and I actually did well on Pepe. That was one meme coin that I actually took a shot at, and I did very well in Pepe. And I only did it because my friend talked me into it, and I said, all right, why not? I'll get in. But yeah, for meme coins, there's no real utility there, but yet they go to the moon, Why is that? Well, there's no utility behind it. It's all momentum. Crypto markets are based off like those dominoes people set up in their houses and they knock them over. The dominoes are going down, and it's all about word of mouth, right? You see these businesses very successful, but they don't have advertising because it's all word of mouth, right? And you have the hype, like if Elon Musk tweets something out, that's one thing, but you have other waves of, it's like a wave of like a fad, right? And it takes over and it's the next cool thing, right? Like the next new shoes or the next new whatever, the next new cell phone, whatever. And that's kind of how it is. There's no reason why it's supposed to be so astronomically going to the moon. That's just what people, it's all momentum driven, right? So, and that comes down to like human behavior and things like that. So I don't know which meme coin is going to be the next big thing unless you really get lucky. It's more about, being lucky with that. And then, but for me, I'm more of a disciplined utility investor. For me, I'm not looking at the next 1,000% pump, right? Obviously it would be nice, but for me, I'm looking at, 10 years. Don't think about next year. Think about 10 years. Think about 20 years. Think about your kids. Think about your grandkids. Think about generational wealth, right? That's why I like XRP. A lot of people can't stand XRP because it doesn't do anything, right? But I'm not worried about that. I'm more positioning myself for what the potential is when we get utility, and that only comes when we get regulation. And then also, the demand comes from the need, not from the speculation of wanting to make money off the next pump, right? People don't buy crypto because they want to use the crypto for their Walmart purchases, right? Or their Amazon, right? Or their Best Buy purchases. No, they buy crypto and they hold it on the exchange or the wallet. They wait for the pump and they sell it. The traders, they buy, they long, they short. They don't care what it is. They look for a setup. The investors, there's three different categories. The investors, we don't really care about what the community, the sentiment is at the moment. It's all about long-term perspective, right? Positioning yourself. For me, I've been positioning myself since 2017. And I still haven't, had a major home run, right? I've had winners, big winners like Chainlink, THETA. I've had really good winners, but I'm talking that's a quick buck, right? That's great. I won, but I'm looking for something that's generational. And let's say you work at a job, right? And you make a certain amount of money. Well, if you would have just take, not financial advice, nothing I say is, but if you take a percentage of your paycheck every week, every 2 weeks, every month, whatever you do, and you stack it in a crypto, put it in a crypto. A lot of times people mistakenly, they buy too many cryptos. You don't need 30 different cryptos. You don't. That's spreading yourself too thin. It's all, you really need, not financial advice, but I would say maybe 4 or 5 at really the most. Pick 4 or 5 winners, right? I would say no more than 8 would be ideal. And then just pack it tight, right? Have a substantial back. And then like if you're in a bear market for 2 years, that's 2 years worth of paychecks going into that coin. You don't care if it's down tomorrow. You don't care if it goes up today, right? Or vice versa. You hope to God that it stays down. You want it to stay down. That's why another reason people are confusing, because they don't understand, like, you don't want XRP to moon. You want it to stay down. The longer it stays down, the more you buy, because eventually it will go. But we're so early to this party that, you know, we haven't even had regulation. We're not even on pension funds and 401ks and the Forex and tokenization. And there's just so many things, payments, right? So now if you look at Ripple, they're gonna add a new stable coin that just further validates everything, right? So as a long-term disciplined investor, you don't care what the price does every day. Now I'm both. I'm a trader, 10%, and then 90% I invest HODL, and I just keep that core position there. And like I said, I don't care if it goes up. I actually want it not to go up, because the longer it stays down, the more I buy, right? But then when you look back 3, 4, 5 years, and now you have a major bag. Now you're talking, you have a big bag, right? So all it has to do is hit, whatever amount, and then boom, you're a millionaire, right? And I know everybody listening has the potential to be a millionaire. I know it. I just know it. And if you don't look about it next year, right? Everybody thinks they have to be rich the next bull run. No, it could take 3 bear markets to be a millionaire, but you will get there. Listen to me. You will get there. You just got to play it smart. And I offer, I think, some good advice. And the only reason is because I've been there, done that, and I've gotten burned, and I know the feeling. But the more importantly, I know what it takes to win. And one of the things I do is listening to investor audiobooks. It's all about your psychology at the end of the day, and it's all about having patience, right? If you work at a job and you make $20 an hour, in 5 years, how much would you have made? Okay. Not so much, right? It's not enough to make you rich. Not even close, because you have all your you have your bills and your credit cards, whatever. But if you put a percentage of that into crypto, and let's say it goes up 100% and then back down 90%, right? Let's say a lot of the money you put in is down. But you're not worried about that. You continue to put more and more, little by little, because eventually it will do what it does, right? It's going to moon, right? It's going to continue to add value over time, right? If you look at the stock market over time, it continually goes up, right? And crypto is so early. Imagine, like, if you're 20 now, imagine when you're 70. I mean, you're going to be balling, right? Or even if you're in your 40s and 50s today, right? You still got a good 20, 30 years left of life. And that's plenty of time. I think a good time is 5 to 10 years. I think if you position yourself and you allow, like, don't think like, I got to have it today, I got to have it tomorrow, because you're going to get wiped out. Think about it like, I don't care if I'm not rich in 5 years. Who cares? This is not a 5-year. This is not a get rich quick scheme. This is a Warren Buffett OG style investing, right? So, and if you know how to trade, you can always add profits. That's trading is now money. Investing is tomorrow money, right? So just a couple friendly words of advice. And I if you like that type of conversation and you want to know more things about what I do and how I sort of tap into that world, then let me know in the comment section. I'll probably do more investor mindsets, because a lot of people who share charts on Twitter, crypto charts, are sensationalism, hype. It's going to happen, right? And what that does to the viewer, that puts the viewer in a situation of, okay, if I'm a viewer and I'm viewing this, then I expect the price to do this at this time. And if it doesn't happen, then I have resentment towards that person who said it. That's why a lot of people on Twitter don't like charts. They look at a chartist or an analyst and they go, we're going to the moon, $100 tomorrow or next week. And it never happens. It never, ever happens. That's because they're not real analysts. They're looking for attention. But what it does is it makes real analysts look bad because that person got burned or that person expected something. Don't ever expect anything from an analyst. Just take every opinion with a grain of salt. Whatever I talk about, just note it. Don't bet the farm on it, right? Or whatever. If you see a chart on Twitter, right, don't worry about it. If they're saying, oh, we're so bullish it's going to happen, and they make you believe that it's got to happen next week or next month, and then it doesn't happen, and then we keep going down and down and down, and then people go, well, now I don't believe any of these chart people say, because they all are wrong. And they're not wrong because they're wrong because you got to understand the angle that they're pointing at. That's why for me, that's what you don't get a lot of views, likes, things like that. For me, I'm telling you, expect 5 to 10 years. You have to have that timeline. If you can't, once you get into crypto, you're in it for life. It's like you're joining a gang, right? And if you leave, you're dead. No, but seriously, if you get into crypto, you have to have the mindset of, yes, this is going to take 10 years. And then let's say it only takes 2 years. That's possible. It only takes, then it's a pleasant surprise, right? But if you going into crypto thinking it has to happen this year, it has to happen next year, and if it doesn't, then every analyst is wrong. And no, you can't go in with that mindset. If you're getting into crypto, you have to have the mindset of, I have plenty of time. I'm not worried about it. The longer the better, because the longer it takes, the more paychecks I get at my job, the more I can take some of that money and invest. And every week, every month, every year, I keep adding and adding and adding. And then within 5 years, even 2 years, even 1 year, you have a major bag. Now you're dealing with, now you ain't no shrimp anymore, right? Now you moved up to a crab, right? Or what, I don't know the terminology, the fish, and then eventually you'll be a whale, right? So, that's sort of the mentality you need to survive this. But the problem is there's so much sensationalism and hype that it makes people extremely excited, right? And then when you have these big pumps, right? And I know I'm taking a lot of time, but when you have these big pumps like this, right? And I'm not even saying that's a big pump, but people get extremely excited, and then the YouTube and they add to that hype, right? And it makes people feel really, really good. So what do? What happens when people feel good? They spend money. Why do you think Christmas exists? Right? Because people feel good. It's the holiday season. When you feel good, you spend money. No, that's it. And that's kind of have to be the opposite, right? When you're scared, when you're fearful, you don't want to spend your money. You want to turn away. But it's actually the exact opposite. And it seems like, oh yeah, I know. I already know this crypto brand and I already know it. But to know it is one thing. To experience it is another thing. Right? So I'll give you an example for this coin. Let's say, let's see, we're in 2024, so we'll go to the year. So like, for example, this could totally happen, right? Where we just basically go sideways for the next 6 years, right? And then we're in 2024. By the time we hit 2030, right, this thing is to the moon. Just giving you an example, right? And let's say we get way up here, and you believed in this project, and you bought in here. You bought every week, buying, because you knew one day it will do it, right? And that's how I feel with XRP. So And XRP is still extremely cheap, in my opinion. If I had $100 to spend only on one crypto for not tomorrow, not today, not next week, but the next 10 years, it would be XRP, just because of the way it looks. It's just, it's been correcting for the last 6 years. The longer something corrects, the higher the probability is that it's, gonna be complete soon, right? So, you work at a job, every 2 weeks you get a paycheck, whatever, and you buy all throughout here for the next 6 years. Then you have, a massive amount, right? And now when you break out, then that massive amount turns into an extraordinary amount. And that's kind of how you do it. Now, if you bought this and then it just continued to go up, people don't sell it because it's not enough, right? It's not enough. So they hold it and then they get burned, right? But that's why I don't like things. I don't want it to go up. If you're an investor, you don't want this to go up. You want it to go sideways, right? Because if you buy, it ain't going to be that much, right? It's your first position, and then it goes up. You made some good cash. But a lot of times people look at it and, like, say they bought $100 or $500 or even $1,000, right? And it goes up, and now let's say you have 3,000 or 4,000. Well, that's great, but it's not like, people expect, when they look at crypto, they expect to be rich, right? And, it's great. You turned 1,000 into 4,000, but it's not enough, right? People say it's not enough. I want more. So, but they don't sell it, and then it comes down, and now you got nothing, right? And then, they end up selling it, and then they don't make any money, right? So remember, if you buy an asset and it goes up, take your profit. If you buy an asset and it goes sideways, keep buying it. That's kind of my secret, right? But I have more. I have more secrets, and I wanted to give this sort of freebie out there. I wasn't planning on it. It just happens, right? I don't have notes or a teleprompter. I just go into these and I just say whatever comes to my mind. And I felt like today I needed to say that because I felt like somebody out there needed to hear it, right? Somebody out there needed to hear exactly what I just said. And I believe that there's more. And any way you look at it, we're all on the same team. We're all on the same side. We should all help each other. And that's why I'm deciding to do YouTube, right? More seriousness. So I could do a fast 10-minute video, tell my thoughts, get the views, get the likes, get more algorithms. But I'm not speaking to the masses who want that instant hit, that very quick thing. I'm speaking to people who really, really want to change their life and really want to take crypto serious, and they are wanting to put themselves in a position unlike no other. Then, it takes more time. You need more information, right? You're investing your hard-earned money. You need as much information as you can get to be smart. And once you think you're smart, you got to get smarter, right? I'm always learning, right? It's a constant learning experience process. So once you think you know, you got to be humble, right? Don't act like you know everything, because you don't. I don't. Most people don't, right? Once you feel like you know, keep learning. Don't ever stop. That's all I have to say. So anyway, ranted on long enough. I like the way this chart looks. To me, it looks like it's, creating a base down in here. Now, I don't know. I would have liked to see it to be Wyckoff, but I don't like the way it looks. This wave just went too high. So, but nonetheless, we do have this long correction. We have this 3-wave move here. So it didn't turn into 5, but it came back down. So we have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, maybe we get 3. It kind of looks like it wants to go down for a little bit. You have this move like this. We come down. Let's finish this move here. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And I would probably look to buy somewhere down here if we get down here. Now, if we hold above, if we start to hold above this, right, because we did reclaim the bull market support band, I'm looking for the retracement to get through, right? I want to look through the retracement. Now we hit all the way to 618, we got a strong rejection. But we are still staying strong. We're in a tight range here. But if we can, if this extends out a little bit more, I would be more bullish, right? But anytime you have a move down and you have this sort of ascending look, a lot of times the price breaks to the downside. So, and it likes to return back down in here somewhere. So, for the short term, we can go sideways. I would feel more comfortable going up. But if we start to roll over next week, I would just wait, be patient. Let it come to you. Don't chase the price. Let the price come to you. And sometimes that could be very hard, because when you're living in the world of like, I got to get it now, I don't have much time. The bull run's going to end and I need to get now. I need to make this money, and I need to sell this and do this and because I need to be in this bull run before it ends. No, you got the rest of your life. Don't worry about it. As soon as you start chasing things, that's when you make mistakes, and then you try to make up for those mistakes. You lose even more. I've been there. I know how it feels. So, just letting you know, let the price come to you. And if it doesn't, and let's say it goes up and you missed it, then what you do, right? Let's say it goes up. You wait for a pullback. A, B, C. You wait for a three-way pullback, and then you buy. Yeah, it's a little bit higher than you wanted, but it's all about risk. It's all about risk, not necessarily what price it is, right? And that's another thing why the dollar cost average, because you don't really know. Maybe buy a little bit there, and if it goes up, great, you made money. If it goes back down, okay, buy a little bit more, right? So you got to come up with a game plan, a strategy. And that's why I'm seriously considering doing a members video, kind of going over part 1, part 2 of the strategy, right, of how I'm approaching it. I've only scratched the surface of the things that I'm talking about. There's so much more that people, I think, could really get use out of. So we'll see how that plays. I'm not there yet, but in the future. So, I in the short term, looks like we gotta come back down. Now, if we take out the high, I would wait for a three-way pullback. Now, what I do like here is maybe we have some side inverse head and shoulders. We have a shoulder, we have a head, right? And now we're rounding out for that shoulder. So what I would like to see is a break above that line, right? And then the target would be roughly, let's see, about almost $18. I mean, really, we need to break above this line. If we want to be seriously bullish, we got to break above that, and we got to hold above it, right? So some people don't care about the price. What they'll do is they'll wait until we break this line. They'll wait for it'll break the line, right? They still haven't bought it yet. They'll wait for the back test. That's when we come down, we back test or even lower, that's when they get in. But it's like, well, you could have gotten in way down here. Why didn't you? Because you didn't know, right? You didn't know yet. Now, that's why if you dollar cost average, depending on the strategy you have and the trading strategy you have, there's different strategies. You got to pick one that works for you. right? And I'll probably go over different ones and see which one you like. Maybe you can try it out for a little bit. Not financial advice, just always take things, in emotion, right? Don't take things like they have to be. It's all, this is a learning process. Investing is a learning thing. So I would like to see 1 2 3 1 2 3. I think we need to come down, or at least go sideways, and that's where I stand with that. I'm running out of time. For this one, I see the bearish case. I see an A, B, C, right? And we have 1 2 3 4. We might get 5, and that could be C. Or we have a 1 2, and now we're getting another 1 2, which could be very bullish, right? So what I would wait for on the weekly chart, this is Chronos. I do think it's bullish. I think it is bullish. We came down, we created a base, right? We created a base, and we are at that upper bounds of that base, right? So, and then also, we're above this trend line here. We had a big impulse off the bottom. We pulled back. We bounced off the bull market support band. That's another reason why it's important. We came back up, and now we have resistance. It's got to work itself out in here. To put it simple, but I do think we could get higher prices. I'm curious to see if this is going to be a 1 2 1 2. I think it'll be very bullish. So we have a 1, and then we have an A, B, C. We come up 1 2 3 4 5. Another way to look at it is if this is 1 2, this is 3, this is 4. We still have another wave to go. 5 before we go down further. 1 2. So it'll be 1 2 1 2. That's one way you can look at it. But I'm curious to see if we come back down and test the bull market support band. So the bull market support band, that would be interesting to see, because so far we have either an A, B, C, or rise, crash, retrace, reaccumulation. So we're in that, it's almost the same story with all the charts. I think this has to keep going sideways, or it needs to come down. If we come back up, then the B wave isn't finished yet. So that's what I'm saying, right? When you're in the middle of point A and point B, you're in the middle. That's always the trickiest spot, and that's why you have to wait. Now, I can give many different ideas, but they don't really mean much unless you wait, because again, we have A, B, C, we have rise, crash, retrace, reaccumulation, or we have an 1 2 and a 3, and then it becomes a flat, maybe, right? Some type of flat where then we come back down. So then that would be an A, B, C, so some type of flat, and then we meet up with the bull market support band. Then we go, right? That could totally happen. If I would say that would be my main idea if we start pumping up. Now, if we pump up and we take out the high and it gets extended, we get a three-way pullback and it wants to go up again, then I would say the correction is over, right? So we'll we're in a tricky spot, but we'll get more into it. But any way you look at it, I think it's bullish. Targets for this asset, I guess I can, let's see. Well, we got some serious work to do to get, but I would say 63 to 88 is what we have to get through, right? Which is still a really good percentage, but I would say about $1.60 would be a decent target to have, and we're at 14 cents, so that's a pretty astronomical, not too bad. Let's see, about 1,000%. That's not bad at all. I think it's bullish. I think I like this downtrend too. 1 2 3, 4, 5. You have clear 5-wave move, right? So if it's bearish and you have 5, then what you could have is an A, B, and now you're getting C before more downside. And then you have to continue developing the base. So we come to the bottom of the base, we get to the top, but now we got to come back one more time to the middle or even to the bottom before going higher, if this is an ABC. It's still yet to be seen, right? So, well, you know, that's why subscribe to my channel, and we'll figure it out together. EWT, Energy Web Token. Let's zoom out here. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get through all of them today. I'll probably just do it anyway. I don't know. We'll see. But I see not much data here. I see 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now, we probably don't have... Do we have divergence? No. What about on the smaller time frame, like the 2-day? No. So no real divergence. We do have 5 waves. It does look kind of bullish right here. We have a shoulder, we have a head, and we have a shoulder. We have an inverse head and shoulder. It appears like it wants to bottom out. I would suspect that it looks like it wants to come up. This looks bullish. I think, you know, let me look closer. Once we get done correcting with this, so something like boom, 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 maybe we come down a little deeper, or maybe it's done now, but I would expect it to come up to this point here, which is about $3.80 into that area. Now once we get there, I'm not too sure after that, because then, you know, if we get up here, I would think maybe we come down for a spring phase, right, before coming back up, unless of course this was the spring. But then where would the other, you know, it wouldn't make sense. I think, you know, we're towards the bottom of the base. So I would look at this like Wyckoff, right? So what I would like to see is we have that first pump to the top of the base. We're at, it's actually a good buying opportunity. But to me, I don't know, because it's still very brand new coin, right? It just came out. I don't even know if this is an exchange that has a lot of the data, but to me it seems like it needs to finish this correction, then come back up without breaking up this high, then come down in the spring. Now the spring can take out the low then go, or it can round about then go. So I would expect something like that. But yeah, I would need more data to confirm that. But that would sort of be the shot in the dark here. And then if you look closely, that actually looks like a shoulder, a head, and a shoulder. So that would kind of be my main thesis just looking at it. So Dogecoin. Dogecoin is something out of this world. I wouldn't own it anymore. Simply because it's gone up way too much for me. I mean, look at that. So, for example, XRP is in here. Dogecoin's way up here. This is XRP's all-time high. It crashed to the downside. It had a retracement. Now it's in reaccumulation. After that, look what Dogecoin did. It did something insane. That's why it's like, well, what, you know, it has the backing of Elon Musk. It has the backing of the #1 meme coin. I think it's going to do fine. But from my perspective, the percentage value, it could totally break out, right? But I think that would be the final one. We would have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now you're getting A, B, and probably C. Now, I think B can go up higher. I do. I think B can go up higher. Remember, B waves are traps. So that's why I would much rather be in XRP. It looks basically the same, right? I've compared it many times. So what we can see in this bull run would be something of like XRP, where we have a rise, crash, we come up into a retracement, right? Maybe we go a little higher, then we come down into reaccumulation. Then we go, right? So we have a rise, crash, retrace, reaccumulation, sideways, then we go. But why would I want to be in that if, I mean, of course it can keep going much, much higher. But when I look at XRP, it's already in this reaccumulation phase. And also, you know, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We already have 5 waves. And this 5th wave was insane. Right? So, yeah, I could go higher, but we're moving into a world of more use case. And I don't see Dogecoin having a lot of use case. I think it'll continue to go up. I think if you hold it, I think it'll continue to go up. But, you know, you have to understand, this thing has already gone up. You know, what is that? 38,000%. Right? No, I'm sorry, 100,000%. This thing has gone up almost 400,000%, and there's no reason for it. So, you know, it had that sensationalism, the Elon Musk thing, but yeah, you know, XRP is down in here, right? So nobody wants to buy when it's doing this. Nobody bought. But then once it did this, everybody wants to buy. So think about, so this is another good example, right? If you're still with me, pat yourself on the back. Because look at, this is a great example here. We're going sideways, 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 sideways. Nobody wants to buy that. They want big pumps, and then they buy that, right? But this is positioning yourself. This is a paycheck, another paycheck, another paycheck, another paycheck, another paycheck, right? Right? You take 10% or 5% or 2% or whatever, and you buy. And then you, boom, you get this big moment, and now you have a big bag to show for it, right? But now it already did that, and now it appears like it could be doing it again, but what if it's not? Because we already had 1, 5 waves, and 2, you can see we had this move down, and this move is going up, which looks like an A, B, C, right? So I don't know. I think if it breaks out, congratulations, but I wouldn't buy it right now. But as far as the short term, I don't knock anybody who does. If I've been holding Dogecoin since down here, then yeah, it's different. But would I buy it right now? No. I would, if I'm gonna buy it, I would wait until we get back down to the bull market support band. Because so far, all we got is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we do have 5. So I would like to see an ABC, and then you can take the long, right? And then where would the target be? Well, it still needs to get through its retracement levels to even consider a new bull run. But so far, we've only made it to the 236, right? I could totally see a 40-cent Doge, maybe a 40 to 50 cents would be the target, right? If we keep marching up. If not, if we get stalled out here, we come back down, and then we go into reaccumulation before going up. Now, the ultimate bearish idea is to say that this would be A, B, C, and we come all the way down, and we actually back test this down here. So you can see we broke out but we never back tested it. We could come down here, buy the dip down here, and then take it long, So it's a tricky one there. I probably wouldn't do it simply because you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now you could say that this is 1, 2, all of this is 3, 4, and we get one more 5. But if that's the case, then it's only one more 5, right? So I look at it like XLM is in here, XRP is in here. It still hasn't had this wave yet. So, but the people who do hold Doge, and if you've been holding Doge, I think it'll be around for a long time, simply because it was the first meme coin. It's the biggest meme coin. It has Elon Musk. I think it will be publicly traded more and more. I think it will continue to rise in value. But I think over the next 5 years, I don't see too much growth out of it. Now, it still has a smaller market cap than XRP. So keep that in mind. It looks like it wants to do this. We come down, we break out. We come down, we break out. We come down, we break out. It totally looks like that. And I say that's definitely possible. But there's other assets that I would rather have than this one. So that's just me. But I hope, if you hold it, I hope it succeeds. I hope any crypto you hold succeeds. So Digibyte. I don't understand this one because, okay, I had to go to another exchange, I guess, but it's showing, I'm not sure, but anyway, this is the chart I was looking for. It's in an interesting spot. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we have an A, B, C. We have a rise, crash, retrace, reaccumulation. Now we're going sideways. It has a good opportunity to break out. So Dogecoin is more known, but Digibyte, it's going to take a momentum shift. I don't know if Digibyte is still relevant, right? I know it used to be very popular, but it's like, I don't know about it now. I do know that this is only 3. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so that's an A. We have 1, 2, 3, so that's a B. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that's a C. And now we're kind of basing out here. I would expect this thing to break out and retrace this prior B wave. We do have some bullish divergence here on the weekly a little bit. Let's see. We have a base down in here, and it looks like a Wyckoff. It looks like a really good Wyckoff base. We have this up move back down. We have this liquidity grab. We have 1, 2. We did get rejected pretty strongly though. But look at this. We're still holding above the bull market support band. Digibyte looks actually decent. It's relatively low risk to me. Set your stop loss. I can't give financial advice, but if I'm trading this, I wouldn't mind taking a stab at it, simply because, we have this move up. I don't know. Let's see what the daily looks like. Yeah, it looks interesting. It's kind of flagging out, or it's holding nicely above the bull market support band. It created this Wyckoff pattern. It's in reaccumulation like XRP, right? So that's another thing. Nobody talks about this, but everybody talks about Dogecoin. But if this did this, then everybody would talk about it, right? But then by that time, it's too late. So I say, for me, I would expect it to retrace this move. We're still at the bottom of the barrel here, but somewhere up in here. Now, can it do that? I don't know. That's the good part is the chart looks kind of decent for a bounce. The bad part is I don't know if people even care about DigiByte anymore. Are they still buying it? I don't know. It used to be very popular. I just don't know about now. So that's a tough call. If I'm holding it, I would probably just keep holding it. But it does look like everything rise, crash, retrace, maybe a running flat in here. I'll message a couple people and I'll ask them about it, because I'm actually somewhat interested if so. But and to see, not the chart, but to see if it's, are they seeing it on their radar? Is it still relevant or whatnot? But yeah, it looks interesting. Now, if we get through those retracement levels, then this thing has the potential to get up to about 30 cents. And from where we are now, to get to 30 cents, let's see. That's about a 3,000% move. 3,300%. That's pretty big, right? Now, if you look at Dogecoin, right? Let me just show you how Dogecoin is. Look how crazy this is. I'm going to flip this to log scale, right? And then Dogecoin went up to the 2.272, right? So all the way up here, that's where it went. Okay? So if I were to buy DigiByte and it did the same thing what Dogecoin did, you're looking at a 72,000% move. That is insane. That's like life-changing, right? And look at that's 180,000%. Can it do that? Probably not, because it doesn't have that Elon Musk. It doesn't have that, the flair. It's interesting because when Doge blasted off, Doge was already like an old man, right? Nobody really cared about it. It wasn't until Elon made it cool again. So maybe somebody can make DigiByte cool again. I don't know. But yeah, I think we can, if we do break to the downside, then I'm looking at it like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And we finish that 5 waves up. Maybe it breaks the low, maybe not. But once we finish that 5 up, then we can take off. But then we take off, and I would look for a big something like that before. It would take a long time to recover from that. So it's kind of like a do or die. But yeah, that's it. Okay, the next coin is Nervos Network. Almost looks like nervous, like the coin is nervous. Well, to me, I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Do we have bullish divergence? Let's go to the weekly. We don't. I'm sure we have it. I like to see it on the weekly. So yeah, if it's not on the weekly, it's not too convincing. That doesn't mean it can't go up. What that means is, if you don't have divergence between the 4th and the 5th, then the chances are that when we do go up, we're going to go up either way. But when you do go up, it's corrective, not necessarily impulsive. But it really depends. So far I see a 1, 2, 3, or an A, B, C. I see a 3-wave move. Yeah, to me, it looks like it needs a correction. I look at this a lot of times when you come up, right, and you have green, red, green, red, green. It looks like it's breaking the high. Now, what's interesting is we could get a weekly close breakout, right? So I haven't looked at the smaller time frame, but it appears like it's going to break out. But a lot of times it breaks out after correcting so much, and it usually just hits the high and then comes back. But when I look at the bull market support band as an investor, we're about 150% away, 150%. So there's a chance that we have this shoulder, this big head, and let's come down for a shoulder. I want to see something like that before if I'm getting interested in it. Now, depending if you were holding it, right, might as well just hold it. But take your profits too. So I think that this could be 1, 2, 3, and now we're in 4, and we still need 5. So I think we could get another wave to the upside. But then after that, I would like to see an ABC or something that gets us back down to the bull market support band. So I look at the 2-day chart, same thing. Looks like a 1, 2, 3. Looks like we're in a 4th wave. We need to get 5. So it does still look bullish. It still looks like it has more room to go. And then we also, let's see, let me actually zoom in even more. It'll be interesting to see if we can, we got to break and close above, because we're right at resistance now. So it's, we're in a tough situation. But to me, what do we have? We have potentially a flat, a running flat. So you have an A, we come up for B, we come down for C, there's a low, there's a higher low. So we could be finished, A, B, C. And that was the 4th wave. And now we're getting ready for wave 5. So we have 1, 2, 3, maybe 4, 5, pull back, and now we go up for that 3rd of 5, 3rd of the 5th. So boom, boom, boom. And then it finishes up that wave 5. Maybe it's a diagonal. Then you would get that ABC or a bigger correction. But it's still early to tell. It could still, this could be a part of a complex B where you have an A, you have 1, 2, 3 for B, then you come down for C, right? So you have 1, 2, 3. So it could be part of a more complex wave structure. You don't really know. Here's the bottom of the range, the top of the range, and so far you're just ranging. It looks bullish right now, but I would want to see some follow through, or at least a pullback. We went up. So far you only have 3 waves, right? You have 1, 2, 3. So I want to see 4, 5. I want to see a pullback. And, that would make me feel better. So that would be it for that one. Let's see what else we got here. But yeah, just real quick with this one. It is creating a base. We're oscillating from the bottom to the top, to the bottom to the top. So we haven't really gotten that breakout. But target, I didn't talk about a target. I think some of them I missed out on the targets, but this one I can do a proper target because we have some good history here. So I would say about 27 to 35 cents would be a good target, and right now it's only at 2 cents, right? So from where it is now, I think this is on log scale. Let me flip that back. I was like, wait a minute, that seems to be too good to be true. Always start with conservative. If it exceeds your linear scale targets, then you can move it to log scale. But it looks like we got another 180, 200% to go. The 4.236 sitting at 17 cents. So I can see a good 500% move if we hit that full extension from where we are now, but most likely we probably pull back. So anyway, this one's difficult because it's so new. There's nothing really to go by. So we have a base down here. We have a 1 2 1 2 1 2. Looks bullish. We have 3. Looks like we're getting 4. Let's come down and test the bull market support band. That would make me feel better. Then get 5. Right? So if you've been holding it, I would just keep holding it. I don't know. It's not enough data. I can do my best on the shorter time frames. It could be a flat where you have an A, 1 2 3, B, and now we're getting C. So is it a running flat, a regular flat, or are we going to come down for an expanded flat? A, B, C. I think this wave needs to finish up either sideways or continue going down. I would wait for that, and then I would wait for an impulse, and if we get that impulse, then you buy the 3-way pullback. Look for a break of structure on the RSI, right? I don't talk about that enough, but when the RSI gets down here, kind of want to see it get down lower. But yeah, I can't give you any targets on this. It's not going to work. It's too new. But yeah, this thing can go. I don't know what the market cap is on it. But yeah, she is definitely in an uptrend. So I would just, if you're committed to this, just continue to dollar cost average, and most likely it'll keep going up. Especially if Bitcoin breaks out. THETA, I don't remember. This one looks pretty nasty. Looks bearish. I mean, obviously it could keep going up. Let me put this on regular scale. We have 1 2 3 4 5, and then we have an A, B, and maybe we have a C. So 1 2 3 4, maybe we're getting 5. I'll put the retracement up. So far we've had a 50% retracement. So yeah, it's not too bad. I would look for, I would suspect that this would be a buy the dip zone. So we're barely at that buy the dip zone. So we do have, it could also be a diagonal here. 1 2 3 4 and 5. So it really depends what happens down here. Do we have divergence? We do have bullish divergence. So I would think we get a bounce. Now I would like to see it get back above the bull market support band, even though it just barely, that's how new it is. You don't even see it. I would like it to just create a base down here, break out, ABC, and continue higher. Now, once we get into the retracement levels, do we continue higher or do we come back down? I don't know. But to me, it looks like we need to go up for a little bit. Now, this can turn into an A, B, C, or a rise, crash, retrace, reaccumulation, sideways breakout. But it looks to me like it's, we have this up lower bound. So that would, yeah, I would consider buying the dip. If I'm in this asset, I would probably dollar cost average a small amount, and just kind of wait and see. So yeah, I think a bounce could be coming soon. SHIB. I'm much more bullish on SHIB than I am on Dogecoin. If I were to hold any meme coin, it would probably be SHIB. Why? Why would I do that? Because look, it hasn't broken out into its new all-time high, right? And you could say, well, neither has Doge. Yeah, but how many freaking bull runs has Doge had? SHIB has only had one wave, or two at the most, right? I was in SHIB. I actually made some money in SHIB, but I sold it too early. I wish I didn't. Here's what I was thinking about SHIB right here. So let me explain, and I'll give you my mistake, because I make my mistakes. I didn't make it publicly. I made it, on my own trading terms, but I will share with you what I did wrong. So I was looking at this like Wyckoff. So this is Wyckoff here. We came all the way down. Beautiful Wyckoff structure. We broke the low, and I bought the dip. And I'm like, that looks like a beautiful Wyckoff. We came back up, right? But what I was expecting is to hold above and continue working our way up, play around, then go. Normal white. But what it did is it came all the way back down. So when it started coming down, I took my profit. I just sold it. I made a profit, so it's not like I made a complete mistake. I bought it down here. I sold it up here when we broke below. So let me zoom in. And then, we came all the way back down. It was too much of a dip, right? Then we came back up, and then I probably I should have re-entered here, but I didn't. So that was my mistake. But look what it did, right? It sort of was more of a rounded instead of more of a V shape, like I was thinking, because we took out the low. It ended up doing all of this first, which was a cup and a handle. So man, that was a tough miss, but that's why we just learn. But whatever coin you lost on, you made up for in another one, right? Because THETA was a big winner. This one went up about 200%. I think THETA went up about somewhere about the same. So not too much of a big deal. But I'm looking at this, right? We have a rise, we have a crash, we have a beautiful Wyckoff base down in here. This is why I would, if you're gonna pick a meme coin, I would totally be in SHIB, right? Than Doge, especially because it has a smaller market cap and things like that. But I wouldn't buy it now. I would wait. We are very far away from the bull market support band. So here's our base down in here. I would have already taken profit on that. And the reason why is, look at this. Look how far away we are from the bull market support band and the base. So this has the potential to keep ripping to the upside, obviously, but from a risk perspective, let me look at the daily. Let me put up a retracement just from this wave here. We almost hit the 618, so it's not too bad. But if I put it down here, we only hit a 50%. Maybe that's all you get, but I think it definitely will have more upside to go. My thinking is something like this. We have an A, we come up 1, 2, and we get 3. We come up in 3 like that. People are going to get bullish, let's go. But I think what's going to happen is we're going to come back down like this. And it'll be an A, B, C, then we go. So just look for that. I think, let me take this off now. I think that would be the best idea. A, B, C, and then go. Or even if the B wave is a little higher, maybe we get a running flat and we have a rise, crash, retrace, reaccumulation, sideways breakout. But so far we're in a range. I would like to see an ABC. And if that means anything, that probably will mean the rest of the market too, right? So that's kind of how it looks to me. But it's also very bullish because what kicked it off? Remember how I always talk about 1 2 1 2? Well, look at this. Look at this. We have a 1 2 1 2. That's a powerful setup. And that 1 2 1 2 landed on the bull market support band. Boom, we have this big 3. And what I think is happening here is we're flagging out for wave 4. I think this is a wave 4. So once this wave 4 finishes, then we get wave 5. So wait. You got to wait. I mean, obviously dollar cost average, right? But that's how I'm looking at it. And then once that happens, we'll see if we can get through the retracement levels. So let me pull this. Whoops, not that one. Let me pull that down here. So I want to see us get this fourth wave, get us back up to the 618. So that number right there. So 40569. So 0.00005695. So I don't know. I think that's very plausible. Now, what happens when that happens? That's the question. Right? When we get into those retracement levels, we have a rise, crash. Now we get that retrace. Do we pull back in an ABC, continue higher? Or do we do something more like reaccumulation? Rise, crash, retrace, we go into reaccumulation. Either way you look at it, I think eventually SHIB will break out and go on an amazing run. So yeah, I'm more bullish on SHIB than Doge because I see more potential. It's not about what it already did; it's about the potential of what it could do. So I'm gonna end it there. I think I'll do one more ICP. Looks like it created this little flat here, A, B, C. And now we have a 1. Let's get a 2. Maybe we get another high. So 1, 2, this is 3, 4. And now we're getting that fifth wave. We bounce off the bull market support band. Looks pretty good. I think it's got a little more correcting to do, but I think we get one more wave to the upside. So what's telling the truth, right? Some of them are more bullish in the short term. Some of them are more bearish in the short term. Some of them are telling the story and some of them aren't. Some of them are helpful, right? So, what is the deal here? Now, when I look at XRP, go to the weekly chart. The weekly chart, we have one more day, but I would like to see it close above the bull market support band, which it's doing, right? The daily chart, it kind of looks finished, but it kind of doesn't, so it could be A, B, C, or some type of A, B, and then a C like this before coming back down. I'm hoping that it's an A, B, C, and it's done. And we start, basing here and get ready to go. Because to me, I would suspect it to be A, B, C, D, E, and then we can go. So, I mean, when you look at all those charts I just shared, now look at XRP. Look how much different it looks. It's still going sideways. That's why, look at this sidewaysness, right? Look at that. Sideways, sideways, sideways. All those other charts had those big waves up and they look like they need pullbacks. But look at XRP. XRP looks like it's destined to go at any point, right? Maybe we keep going sideways. But again, we're like the long-term investor. And hopefully you watched the whole video. I know it's long, but I had some pretty interesting examples that I talked about as an investor, and one of those is, sideways is your best friend because it allows you to continue to stack, because at some point it's going to go up. Now, a lot of those charts I looked at, none of them look like XRP. A lot of them look like each other, right? So they break out, they backtest the bull market support band, they continue higher, and now they look like they're flagging out for a wave 4, or they need to finish their ABC. But they already made this big breakout move. XRP hasn't done that yet. It's still going sideways. You guys, if you want to know more about XRP, just look at my previous videos. Not going to get into it today, but I think we have some type of three-way move. We have rise, crash, retrace, reaccumulation. We've been going sideways, right? That's how when you compare it to Dogecoin, right? And if I zoom out, remember Dogecoin, how it looked? It had this 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and it was way up here. So, if Dogecoin is way up here, XRP's down here, why would I buy Doge? I wouldn't, right? It's sideways. This is what you want. See, here's Dogecoin right here. Look at it. XRP is right here. See, we have this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So XRP is still, and how do we get this big, massive breakout in Doge? Well, look what the price did. It went sideways. Look at this big sideways base, right? So when you go back to XRP, it doesn't look finished yet. Look what we're doing. Look what we've been doing for the last 6 years. We've been going sideways. So that's, if you were to accumulate for the last 6 years of XRP, anticipating a move like Dogecoin. Remember, Dogecoin had 1, 2, 3, and then it went sideways for 4, right? And then it went up to 5. So Dogecoin's way up here. So that's what I'm saying. That's why a lot of people don't like XRP. But once it does this, maybe it moves down first. Maybe we have a big crash, right? And this is a 1, 2, 3, and then we go. It's more of an investment, a hodl, right? And just kind of wait and see. But eventually, I think once it works itself out in here, just like Dogecoin, it's going to go and complete that 5th wave. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So something like that. So anyways, that'll do it, guys. I was going to update on Bitcoin, but I'll do it on another video. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, comments, please leave a comment. It's always helpful. And also hit the like button if you can. And if you want to support the channel, there's always the YouTube tip jar you can scan and support the channel. That's always very appreciative. And if you have any other coins you want me to take a look at for next week rapid fire sesh, you can go ahead and drop them below. And also, if you can, also share the video. If you know people who hold all the different coins or some of them that I've mentioned, maybe they might find it useful. So anyways, guys, thank you, and I will catch you on the next one. Cheers.